Welcome to the League of Nerds comic book segment number 71. I'm John Cooney here to talk to you about comics released the 5th of June 2013. Beginning as usual with my first 5, meaning these are the first 5 books I intend to read this week, and I'll give you a little more depth on them, starting with at number 1, Daredevil End of Days number 8. The stunning conclusion to Daredevil's final story. The mystery of Daredevil's final works are revealed, and Ben Urich's life will never be the same. Some of the Man Without Fear's greatest artists bring you the conclusion to his life story. Now, series writer and collaborator Brian Michael Bendis posted this on Tumblr 3 weeks ago. Quote, "Today, Daredevil End of Days number 8 went to the printer. This is a book that David Mack, myself, Klaus Jensen, Alex Maleev, Matt Hollingsworth, and Bill Sienkiewicz have been working on since 2007. To say this project was a dream come true is an understatement. On top of it just being an amazingly pleasant and creative experience, this is one of those times where David and I found ourselves working closely with Klaus and Bill, creators that were insanely important to us in our formative years. We studied them like the Torah. So to find ourselves years later working with them and enjoying their company, professionalism, and creativity so much is one of the true joys of my entire career. We're already talking about what we'll do next." Close quote. Number 2, we've got X Factor number 257. The End Begins Here. The End of X Factor Part 1 of 6. Series writer Peter David spoke recently about the conclusion of this series. Quote, "It was something that developed as a consequence of writing it. The more I got into it, the more I saw that the various storylines and characterizations that I had begun really culminated in the Hell on Earth War. I decided that this would really serve as a good time to wind down the entire series." Close quote. He went on to break down some of the remaining issues. Quote, "Number 257 focuses on Layla Miller. Number 258 focuses on Rain. Richter and Shatterstar are number 259. Polaris is in number 260. Close quote. When asked which characters he would have the hardest time leaving, David responded, quote, "Probably Madrox. I've been living with that character for so long, wrestling around in my head. I like the notion of a character who literally can't decide about anything and decides to do everything." Close quote. As far as fan reaction, David said, quote, "I'm always thinking about how people are going to react to certain things. People talk about they can't wait for the next issue to come out because they can't wait to see what happens. I, to a certain degree, can't wait for the next issue to come out because I can't wait to see how they're going to react to it." Close quote. At number 3, we've got All New X-Men number 12. The All New X-Men find themselves face-to-face with the Uncanny Avengers. Young Cyclops meets the adult version of the little brother he thought he may never see again. Series writer Brian Michael Bendis recently remarked about the series, quote, "People now know that they have no idea what to expect from All New X-Men. They really have no idea what to expect from an event like this, except there will be slapping. Everyone knows there will be slapping." Close quote. Marvel Comics editor-in-chief Axel Alonso explained the challenges the X-Men face as a whole. Quote, "The X-Men tend to gravitate towards stories whose themes need their own breathing space, but that doesn't make them unique from, say, the Avengers or Spider-Man. The challenge with the X titles is to tell stories they are uniquely qualified to tell without losing sight of the fact that mutants live in and fight for the stakes of the same universe as the rest of the Marvel heroes." Close quote. At number 4, we've got Age of Ultron number 9 of 10. To save the planet and maybe the entire galaxy, the heroes of the Marvel Universe made the most controversial decision of their lives. The results have brought disaster the likes of which they have never seen before. And now, with one final chance, can they make it right? Marvel executive editor Tom Brevoort explained the impact of the story. Quote, "I've already indicated that the story will have consequences for the Marvel Universe as a whole and individual characters in it. Beyond that, I can't get too specific, obviously, but there are a couple of levels to the story like this. One is simply the enjoyment factor. You're taking the ride and you're going to experience an enjoyable story. That itself is the payoff to what you're reading. You're reading more in the service of the now than you are a week, month, or year from now. That being said, this is a big Marvel event story, and whether people liked the aftermaths or not, I don't think anybody can really argue that there hasn't been any fallout from our previous events. So Age of Ultron is absolutely going to have some big effects on the Marvel Universe as a whole going forward. It will be something that will continue to have an impact on the characters that have experienced it. I can understand a hesitancy to get involved in a story where you feel like it's all going to be erased or undone, but it really is only our medium that worries about that sort of thing. I guess it's because we're serialized fiction over such a huge tapestry. To me, though, it's sort of like sitting through the first 20 minutes of Back to the Future and going, none of this is going to matter. I want to thank the readers who have been following Age of Ultron. The remaining issues just get crazier and crazier. We haven't even reached the apex of just how mad and insane these events can get. Hopefully people enjoy them and the fallout and the aftermath that follows." Close quote. At number 5, we've got Superior Spider-Man number 11. The Spider Slayer is scheduled for execution, and Mayor J. Jonah Jameson is leaving nothing to chance. To ensure that everything goes according to plan, Jameson's called in the one man he can trust to oversee everything, the Superior Spider-Man. Since the startling events of Superior Spider-Man number 9, will anyone realize that things have changed? Series writer Dan Slott talked about this storyline, quote, "We're launching into a 3-part adventure written by me and Christus Gage and illustrated by Giuseppe Camicoli. It'll be like one big action thriller with Spider-Man and J. Jonah Jameson at the raft. With all of the villains Spider-Man has put in intensive care during his Superior Spider-Man run. There'll be a major status quo shift by the end of Superior Spider-Man number 13. Right when you think you know where we're going, when you get to the end and everything's played out in the big giant adventure yarn, it's going to be a big shift. And so much of that comes from the fact that Peter Parker is no longer there," close quote. Co-writer Christus Gage says, quote, "Superior Spider-Man is going to be facing off against some of the bad guys he really exerted his superiority on. Boomerang, Vulture, and Scorpion powered up and out for revenge on the guy who maimed them. It's also cool to put Doc Ock back in a place, the Raft Super Prison, that he spent so long trying to break out of, but now he's trying to keep others from breaking out," close quote. Rounding out the top 10 at number 6, we've got Thanos Rising number 3 of 5. The Mad Titan flees his home in search of true love, but how many lives will he have to take to find it? The book's so blood-soaked you'll be glad it's a miniseries. At number 7, we've got Astro City number 1. Astro City is back in a new ongoing monthly series that showcases old heroes and new as the Ambassador comes to Earth and an ordinary man is caught up in a cosmic conflict. Featuring the return of favorites like Samaritan and Honor Guard, and the debut of some new sensations, plus the seeds of a new mystery, who is the Broken Man? The entire award-winning creative team is back to kick off a new epic of the human and superhuman. Get in on the ground floor of Astro City's next epic. At number 8, we've got 10 Grand number 2, Angels Never Lie, FDA, the Federal Demon Association, Advisory. Contents contain 1 cult church, where incantations are encoded into the playlist, 1 flesh-dwelling, food-obsessed demon, 1 seer capable of perceiving the spirit world but blinded to this one, 1 missing woman, 1 murder, 1 angel with an agenda of his own, and 1 rendezvous between supernatural investigator Joe Fitzgerald and the woman he loves, now deceased, in what may or may not be heaven. Warning, do not operate heavy equipment while reading. At number 9, we've got Hypernaturals number 12, the final issue. With the entire Quintinuum's fate hanging in the balance, the Hypernaturals must make the ultimate sacrifice. But who will step up to the plate? And who will stop them? Find out here in the final issue of the Hypernaturals. And at number 10, we've got East of West number 3, The Dragon. Death's reign of terror over those who rule continues, and the forces of the end times continue to work to bring about the apocalypse. It's the end of the world. Someone dies, someone lives, and someone falls in love. For the rest this week from DC, we've got Action Comics number 21. Superman is betrayed by his own DNA, and in the backup story, learn the New 52 origin of the Parasite. We've also got Detective Comics number 21. Harper Row joins Batman on a case that leads all the way back to Detective Comics number 0. But will the Dark Knight be willing to accept her help? Illustrated by guest artist Scott Eaton. Next, we've got Earth 2 number 13. Captain Steel debuts as the World Army sends the hero into the fire pits left over from the war with Apocalypse. But even Earth 2's newest hero isn't ready for what is hidden within the burning reminders of the conflict that killed Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And we've got Trinity of Sin, The Phantom Stranger number 9. The Phantom Stranger travels to Hell to save his family, but to do so he must defeat a foe he never expected to see again. From Marvel Comics, we've got Avengers number 13, Evolutionary Leap. Hyperion learns the true cost of the decisions he's made at the origin site in the Savage Land, the return of Techno-Titan Terminus. We've also got Avengers Arena number 10, Nico's valiant stand against Sentinel. Next, we've got Cable and X-Force number 9, guest starring the Uncanny Avengers. Hope goes on the run, determined to help Cable whether he wants it or not. But the Uncanny Avengers have been keeping tabs on Hope, and they're not about to let her get tangled up with Cable's band of fugitives. We've also got Daredevil Dark Knights number 1 of 8. A gorgeous new series featuring the greatest talents in comics brings you the rest of the Man Without Fear's story. Legendary artist Lee Weeks returns to his favorite hero for Angels Unaware. A blizzard brings New York to a standstill, and a young patient lies on death's door unless Daredevil can get to him in time. Next, we've got Fearless Defenders number 5. All the fearless ladies on this cover are actually in this issue, plus Valkyrie vs. She-Hulk. We've also got Iron Man number 11, The Secret Origin of Tony Stark continues. The price, the deal, the consequences. Next we've got Thunderbolts number 10, Red Menace Part 5. All the secrets are bared as the T-Bolts conclude their second arc. Will the team overcome their mistrust to take out the supplier of Gamma-powered Crimson Dynamos? We've also got Ultimate Comics, The Ultimates number 25. Ultimates Disassembled begins. All new creative team and direction. The search for the Infinity Gems brings disaster to the Triskelions' doorstep. Is this the end of the Ultimates? And we've got Wolverine Season 1 hardcover, discovered as a feral mutant prowling the wilds, recruited as a covert operative by a secretive government agency, destined to pursue a dream of peaceful coexistence between man and mutant. Witness the birth of the Wolverine as the man called Logan makes his journey from animalistic wildling to beloved X-Man, including Logan's first blockbuster battle with the Hulk, as well as pivotal appearance by Sabretooth and Wendigo. This blood-splattered tale features a contemporary retelling of the Claude Canuck's formative years. From Dark Horse, we've got Empowered Special number 4, Terror Pin, Power Pachyderm, Brass Monkey, Siberian Tiger, Super Cobra, Mall Bunny. Can struggling superhero and empowered foil a mass carjacking by these animal-armored crime bots at the 21st Annual Alternate Timeline Superhero Auto Show? Can one exceedingly flimsy supersuit overcome 14 hostile tons of heavy metal? This action-packed new empowered one-shot says, maybe. 30 brand new story pages with art by Mecha Master John Staton and Major Color Domo Roboto, plus bonus art by Adam Warren. Next, we've got Michael Avon Allwing's The Victories number 2 of 5, Transhuman Part 2. A new world order plotted by a secret cabal known as the Advisor seems to be connected to the crazed criminal known as the Jackal. Metatron stripped to the moon and a deadly new villain known as Tarkus. What does it mean for Faustus and his teammates? From Image Comics, we've got Bedlam number 7 with the simple solicit, Way Back When. We've also got Invincible Universe number 3, Chupacabra is a recovering alcoholic with a lot to atone for, but will he find redemption in Siberia at the hands of his dead teammate's family, or climb back into the bottle? And from Valiant, we've got Archer and Armstrong number 10, all new arc, Archer and Armstrong and Aliens, oh my. Mary Maria, Archer's arch nemesis / love interest / adopted sister, is back, ready to take over the sect by any means necessary. And what better way to seize control of the secret society of secret societies than by unlocking the most secretive of secrets in the secretest place on Earth? And who but the Valiant Universe's premier team of conspiracy busters can possibly stop her? Just when you thought this book couldn't get any weirder, Archer and Armstrong storm Area 51, and things get weirder still. Out in trades this week from DC, we've got Batman and Robin Volume 1, Born to Kill trade paperback. The first 8 issues of the hit DC Comics The New 52 series is collected for the first time in trade paperback. Batman and Damian, the new Robin, are driven apart by the insidious Nobody. Next, we've got Batman and Robin Volume 2, Pearl, hardcover. After the events of Batman and Robin Volume 1, Born to Kill, it's obvious that Damian has a long way to go before he'll be accepted into Gotham City's crime-fighting family. Will Damian ever be able to live up to the standards that Nightwing, Red Robin, and Red Hood set before him? After a battle with the former Robins, can Damian's convictions stand up to a confrontation with the Dark Knight's greatest foe, the Joker? Collects Batman and Robin number 9 to 14 and 0. Next, we've got Walking Dead Volume 8, What Comes After trade paperback. Following the events of Something to Fear, Rick and the other survivors accept a new way of life under Negan's rule, but not everyone agrees. Collects The Walking Dead number 103 to 108. And last, we've got Harbinger Volume 2, Renegades trade paperback. Outside the Law, Inside Your Head. Welcome to the Renegades. Battered and broken after his escape from the Harbinger Foundation, telekinetic teenager Peter Stanchek only has one option left: run. But he won't have to go it alone. Crisscrossing America with the only 2 people he can trust, Peter will have to activate a new team of superpowered recruits before Toyo Harada and his Harbinger shock troops can reach them first. Peter Stanchek, Zephyr, Chris, Flamingo, you've never met a team of superpowered teenagers quite like the Renegades, and together they'll dismantle Harada's global empire one brick at a time. Collecting Harbinger number 6 through 10. Okay, so that's just a few of my favorite books out this week. There's still plenty of others available, and I broke out all the Marvel titles this week in their own video, as well as a separate video for all of DC, and even a video with the top independent publishers. You can find them all on my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com, and we'll also have links up on the leagueofnerds.com, our Facebook page, so be sure to like us there too. And of course, you can follow everything I'm reading on Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, or Twitter. You can find links to everything at he'sgotissues.com. And a reminder that both He's Got Issues and the League of Nerds are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.